As a filmmaker, this video is kind of hard for me to make and understand, but it makes sense. Okay, so bear with me as I talk you through this concept. As somebody who has loved film, who has loved TV, and who is passionately in love with storytelling, I've come to the conclusion that film is not the best way to tell a story. Let's say you're reading a book, Lord of the Rings. When you read the book, you make Frodo who you want Frodo to be. You make Samwise Gamgee who you want Samwise to be. You make Mordor how you want it to look. Everything about that story is dictated by nothing more and nothing less than your imagination. With video games, you are the main player, and more often than not these days, you can customize your character. You can make them look how you envisioned Frodo to look in your head from Lord of the Rings. You can modify your surroundings, and you can put a mountain over here, or you can build your own life, your own house, your own setting. You can live and create your entire story within a simple medium, a foundation. Film and TV seems to be the most restricting way to tell a story these days. And it's hard for me to say that as somebody who has trained his entire life to become a cinematographer, somebody who has spent his life creating films and trying to tell stories like this one. But I was watching The Defenders the other day. It's a TV series on Netflix, for those of you who don't know. It's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like the Avengers, Iron Man, that kind of stuff. And as much as I love the show, despite its faults, The Defenders was a fantastic show, but was so limited in terms of being able to go off the grid with the story. All it does is hand you a plate and say, here's your meal. You can't order what you want. You can't say, hey, can I have beans instead of peas? Can I have sausages instead of bacon? It doesn't give you any option to compromise. It doesn't give you any path to follow off your own accord. You simply follow the lineage that the story gives you, and that's it. So you're stuck watching a film or series which simply is just telling you a story. And I believe we're now approaching a new generation, a new way of experiencing things, which is a way of storytelling, but a story that we create and we live in. We're seeing the rise of virtual reality like the Vive and the Oculus Rift, and Sony's version of it, which I can't even remember. But these platforms are becoming massive, and that's not to mention like Apple's new announcement from the keynote, where they're going to be focusing on augmented reality, which is, you know, creating things in your own surrounding. So for instance, I could point my iPhone at this table and an entire city would be built upon it that doesn't actually exist, but it's a story that the iPhone is creating for you, and you can move the camera and live that story how you want to. And that gives you so much more freedom in terms of what you can do with the story. You can take a character from being the richest, most powerful person in all of the land and slam them down into poverty and give them nothing to work with. But at the same time, you can then raise that character back up and give them everything that they've ever wanted in their life. It's role play. You create the character, you create the story. Film doesn't have that flexibility anymore. That flexibility is entirely dictated by the directors, the producers, the artist behind it, the concept artist, the stylist. And don't get me wrong, it would be great if you're part of that team, because you can help create that story. You can unite and make this gargantuan, beautiful piece of art. Unless you want to become a director, a producer, a stylist, an artist, something along those lines, and you want to work in that specific field, you won't be able to simply consume a story in the way that you can with video games and books. And film just, it doesn't have it anymore. With VR approaching and growing and turning into something massive, with 360 videos on YouTube becoming a major part of our future and future entertainment, with virtual reality as a whole and augmented reality, I believe that film is going to change, and perhaps you'll be put into the eyes of the character, and you'll be able to experience a little bit more of that, and you'll be able to blend the actual film world with something that you would find in a video game or in a book. But that's something that's a long way off. So for now, we still have YouTube, we still have this way of consuming media, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love YouTube, I love the platform, I love sitting down watching films, I love watching TV shows, and of course I'm still gonna do it. But the experience that you get from one thing, like video games, like reading books, I just don't feel like you can get that anymore from movies and TV shows. Okay, that's it. It's been a relatively quick video. Leave your comments down below. Let me know how you feel about film and TV as a medium, and how you feel it's going to change in the future. What do you prefer? What kind of experience do you feel is the best way forward?